Hello and welcome to Chasing the Target. World Cup football fever is going around in the world, but we're still getting the latest from the cricketing world. We will never leave cricket, hopefully. And I have with me Mr. Pastire. How are you doing, man?
Good, sir. Good, sir. Just waiting for the football, actually. But yeah, like you
yeah,
said, we never leave
yeah.
cricket.
Your team is playing today. Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo is playing, so I'm
Dude.
excited.
Yes.
But we have a one-day series, man. Honestly, that really went over my head. I didn't realize there was a one-day series, and there is a one-day series: India versus New Zealand. In New Zealand, Shikhar Dhawan is leading the pack. Hopefully we get to see Umran Malik. I still don't know. We'll discuss the lineup.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Yeah, it's India versus New Zealand, and this is where the road to the 50 over World Cup starts. I know it's very early, you can say there's still like 11 months, but less than a year. Time flies like this. You have to start your preparation from here. I think India have what, like 18, 20, 30 ODIs. No, not even 30. I think it's 18 ODIs or something like that before the start of the 50 over World Cup. So this is where you start your preparation. Of course, the World Cup will be in Indian conditions, so you can play that extra spinner. The only thing for me, the worry is, again, like the T20 World Cup, you don't have your star players playing, the big players, and your captain Rohit Sharma is not playing. So yeah, initial thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree. I mean, it's already what December is approaching within like the next week. They'll have roughly around 3 months, 4 months before the IPL starts. I don't know how many series they'll be able to manage under that wing of 4 months and how many injuries we can restrict. That is going to be a very crucial part because as soon as the IPL finishes again, then you have the 50 over World Cup, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no,
After the
there's a
IPL,
few months left. There's a few months gap. So the IPL will finish like in May, and the
May,
World Cup
yeah.
in October.
Yeah, so I think yeah, fair enough. But again, we have to restrict the injuries, and then post IPL again, the T20 fever will be on the boys. Hopefully they can get back in the swing of things. And like you said, since it's going to be Indian conditions, I'm hoping that again we can do a 2011, come back. But since the thing, like the way the things are going at the moment right now, it's just a little upsy daisy. But hopefully we can get that straightened as soon as possible and have a good core team so that we can focus completely on the 50-50 World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. Let's discuss more about the team itself that's playing against New Zealand, and let's bring our section captain's corner. So Shikhar Dhawan gave a couple of interviews. He gave one to Cricket Info about his captaincy in Punjab, and then his press conference as well today, talking about the team composition, talking about Sanju Samson and everything as well. We could have done this segment in Fresh Off the Press as well, but I just felt that because Shikhar Dhawan, right now, he's been leading the one day side in the last 4 or 5 series, so he knows these guys. If you just look back before the T20 World Cup, they went to Zimbabwe. He was leading there, and this all started last year in Sri Lanka when he was given this pack of youngsters, and it seems a nice blend. Shikhar Dhawan, who's 35, 36, and then you have the likes of Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill, all these guys in their early 20s. Now, my question is, do you see Shikhar Dhawan playing in the 50 over World Cup? Right now, he's in the scheme of things, but do you see him playing and performing in the 50 over World Cup?
He has a very good chance, to be very honest. If KL Rahul doesn't get back his form, I think Shikhar Dhawan will give him a run for his money. And again, if Rohit Sharma has been a little bit on the ice lately with all the criticism he's been getting from us and everybody else, but again, that was a T20 format, 50 over. We'll have to see over the course of February. But if I'm not wrong, he also captained the England series prior to the T20 World Cup as well, and he did fantastic in that series as well. Shikhar Dhawan, he I think got a 50. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets back into the squad, and he's the one who's won of the ICC Champions Trophy in England. So I think Shekhar Dhawan has a very good hold on this format. He is a bit inconsistent, but it's going to be. I like him as a player. He's been doing brilliantly for India lately, and he's got his form back. So we will,
Mr.
hopefully we
ICC, Shikhar Dhawan, in ICC tournaments, he always comes big. 2019 World Cup is unfortunately that he got injured in that
enter.
Australia
Yeah.
game after scoring 100, and then he was out of the World Cup. But you see, you talked about the Champions Trophy 2013, even the 2019 World Cup, but in general, even 2015 World Cup, Shikhar Dhawan always does well in ICC tournaments. I just feel like he's at the twilight of his career, but maybe because it's in Indian conditions. We saw what Sachin did at the age of 30, 39, 40. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
age wise, maybe if you have an experienced batsman at the top, he can play a bit more freely with responsibility as well, anchor the innings. So it would. And just to let you know, Raquel Rahul won't open in 1 days. He'll come middle order. I think. I don't think he's going to open. So that's a blessing for you. He's not going to open.
But again, if he's gonna come in the middle, then if the likes of hopefully if we can get Sky in the middle, and I don't think that's gonna happen. But if they're gonna give him a chance in the coming ODIs against Bangladesh and other teams that are coming, if Surya Kumar Yadav is able to cement a position, then maybe KL Rahul is going to have to work very hard to get in the middle. Then.
Yeah, 100%. Also, lots of talk about Sanju Samson. Right now, I don't understand this, bro. They're playing Shreyas Iyer at 3. He's lined up to play at 3 again tomorrow. I don't understand this. People are saying that Samson should play instead of Pant, which is also a good possibility. But why isn't he playing? Why is Iyer getting a chance? Why is Pant getting a chance ahead of him?
Ahead of Iyer, ahead of Pant.
Ahead of Sanju Samson.
Yeah. It's probably just going to be one of those, things that India does is basically trial and error. I think this is error is chal raha hai pe trial. So I think they're going to give every youngster one chance. Probably Sanju Samson. If now this is going to be, I think Shreyas Iyer's last chance or like Rishabh Pant's last chance, and then moving to Bangladesh, they'll try to make another kind of slight changes, not a exactly thing because you have your core players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. So I think they're just trying to try to fix the areas where they're finding not suitable batsmen. Like in the opening, if Rishabh Pant is not working, then chuck him. And then in the middle, if Shreyas Iyer is not coming in that number 3, 4 position, because obviously Kohli is going to be there, so there's no chance Shreyas Iyer is only going to get in. But I think next tournament, we might see Sanju Samson getting a chance. So I think they're going to just try to give a fair bit of a chance to everyone who's been.
Kitna fair है यारो? कब से खेल रहा Shreyas Iyer? I don't understand.
Shreyas Iyer ka to I don't know, even like Rishabh Pant, you know how I am on him, but you have that certain belief in him.
Even that I agree with you. Fair enough, bro. Because look, from the probable 11 that I'm seeing, Dhawan and Shubman Gill to open, Shreyas Iyer at 3, Surya at 4, Rishabh Pant at 5, Deepak at 6, Deepak Huda. Then you have Sundar, Chahar, Thakur, Arshdeep, and then Chahal. We'll get to the bowlers, but right now, clearly for me, that number 3 slot instead of Iyer or the number 5 slot of Pant, Samson can walk in. Doesn't mean, like I said, that Sanju Samson will grab that opportunity with both hands. He's also been inconsistent in the IPL. Fair enough. He's not broken down the door, right? Yes, he's had the 100 in the IPL. He's had a couple of hundreds, but after that, he's had a consistent run of low score. So he's not breaking down the door. I just think if someone is in a problem like Shreyas Iyer, he's having an issue with the short ball, just try someone else. That's what I'm saying. And Sanju Samson has the talent and the capability who can live up to the mark. That's why I'm mentioning him.
Completely agree, and I just saw the squad again, and Surya Kumar is there. So I think if Surya Kumar proves out to be a decent pick, then the top 4 will be set in terms of if Shikhar Dhawan performs. Then we have Rohit Sharma, who will be tested probably in Bangladesh. I don't think that's going to be a correct assessment of their capability given Bangladesh's squad. Maybe unless Bangladesh turn up the heat. If it's going to be a very easy tournament, then I don't think that'll be a correct selection criteria because, usually we play very well against Bangladesh in these bilaterals, right? Maybe against like an Australia or like a tougher opponent, we'll have to seek who's going to be the better batsman coming out of there. So with reference to Shreyas Iyer, I think this is going to be his last chance. I don't think after this Shreyas Iyer shall be given a chance. Maybe they might give Rishabh Pant a chance, but I would really want Sanju Samson to get given a try because even in England, I think against England he had a century. He hit 100 or something in the second ODI or something. It was a good innings from him. So I think
it wasn't 100, 50 odd, I think.
50 odd, I think, something like that. But he was showing signs of resilience. So I think we know all the talk that has been happening with being inconsistent, but a consistent chance been Emil Roscoe. So I'll give him that. He's not been given a fair shot like consistently. He did have a good string, but a little bit of drought. But there's always that one odd player who will not been performing. So thoda change karna jaldi rather than घसीटते रहना in case of Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, and then if you look at the bowling, there's no Siraj in the squad. That's kind of surprising. I don't know if he has an injury or not, but he's not there. I would have liked to see Mohammad Siraj there. I think he along with Bumrah are some key bowlers for me in that 50-over World Cup. But they have Deepak Chahar there, Shardul Thakur, Arshdeep Singh. It looks like these 3 are going to start, but Umran Malik also in the squad. Hopefully he gets a game. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow, but hopefully he gets a game.
Yeah, Chahar and Shardul are like good bowlers. Like I really like them a lot. They're consistent even in the T20. And Chahar, like what we've seen with Shardul Thakur, he's very good with the opening spell. So I think I'm going to be looking forward to seeing him. But hopefully Umran gets a chance. It's just these opportunities shouldn't go unnoticed. And I hope he grabs it by both the arms. I really
If
want
you
him to
look at
perform.
the bowling attack, I just feel that instead of Shardul or Deepak, you can play Umran Malik just to have a different variety in the bowling. Because Shardul Thakur, he's really good in the middle overs. He can bowl the slower deliveries. He'll always pick up wickets. Deepak Char can swing the ball. Arshdeep can swing the ball, but there's a lack of pace there. And I just feel
Yeah.
that Umran with the pace will help. But again, it's small boundaries, short in Auckland, and even behind the keeper. So that lap will be on if Umran Malik plays for sure. So maybe that's why they'll try to protect him there. And maybe they'll go with someone like a Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur. But you always like to see extra pace, and we're a big fan of him, so we'll always back him. But I understand why if he's not going to play. I completely get it in terms of the ground dimensions and everything
Yeah.
else. I completely understand.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, extra pace means there's always an opportunity to get hit over the fence. So you
Yeah,
never
that's true.
know. But like you said, they could go for a variation in terms of Arshdeep and these guys having about the same kind of pace, where you have a one bowler going to bowl 150 plus, which is in Umran. So you never know. One question for you: who do you think is going to be like? Is it Rishabh Pant or like Shubham Gill? Who is going to open?
I think Shuman Gill will open with Shikhar Dhawan. He opened in the
Yeah,
last series in Zimbabwe as well. Him and Shikhar Dhawan have got really good partnerships. They've strung good partnerships together. Dono matlab अच्छे starts there in like 50 plus 100 partnerships, and I feel that Shubman Gill is the next best thing in Indian cricket. That's just what I predict. It's not even close to that right now, but I just feel that the
potential.
way
You can see the potential. Yeah, the
I can
potential
see
is
the
there,
potential
100%.
there, and I saw the
Yeah.
potential in that under 19 World Cup. I saw the Unmukh Chand as well, so it can go either way, right?
Manmohan Chand, I think it's बेचारा हो गया उसका
Because
career.
when
वो
Virat
Delhi.
Kohli, played in that under 19 World Cup, I said this guy is going to be big. I mean, just because I saw it and he was the captain, I
Yeah.
said this guy's going to be a big player. He was. When Unmukh Chand played in the under 19 World Cup, I said he's going to be a bigger player than Virat Kohli. That's what I said. And I was completely wrong because his 100 it was in the final against Australia, who were the home team in that under 19 World Cup. So, mere liye,
Yeah.
Unmukh Chand's innings was the best under 19 innings. But yeah, it turned out to
I
be.
guess it comes to the fact that under 19 and then the big boys is a very big difference,
I know,
and
मगर
yeah,
अब क्या होता है, like विराट कोहली चल गया, right? उसके बाद some people
yeah,
चलते, some people नहीं चलते from after under 19.
yeah,
So it's just
yeah,
a
true.
matter of kismat, I think. But from
But yeah,
Shubman
no,
Gill,
I completely agree, man. Shubham Gill has all the shots in him. He's
yeah,
brilliant.
he
He's
has all the
patient.
shots. Crisp
And he knows
timing,
how to
he can
pace innings.
timing.
Yeah, he knows the situation, how to read his situation, and assess the innings how he's going to play it. And I like it because he can pace it and then he can slow it. He has all the varieties of a proper opening batsman. And I just hope he gets the chance and not Rishabh Pant, hopefully. But I was even shocked to see that Ishan Kishan was not in the ODI squad. He performed decent in the T20s.
Yeah, again, Ishan Kishan's, Mohammad Siraj, these guys should get a go. But I think Ishan Kishan, they're reserving him for T20s. I was also a bit surprised, but I think they want to back Sanju Samson over there as the backup keeper after Rishabh Pant. That's the way they're going right now. Otherwise, you'll have too many keepers over there. And
Speaking of
yeah,
the spin twins, bro, what do you think about Chahal or Kuldeep? Who would you go with?
I prefer Kuldeep Yadav, but they're gonna go with Chahal. I think. Like
Again, give him
I
the
don't think
shot.
two, huh?
Give Chahal the shot after, like,
They
since
will, because
Auckland
like
is again small.
honestly, like he can still pick up wickets, and it's small ground, so dono को भी मार लग सकती, but you need to take wickets. So you pick either of the two. It's okay. Give him the chance to prove to everybody why they were wrong in not picking him in the T20 World Cup, right? Give him the chance, let him get that consistent run. If he proves himself, then you pick him in the one-day squad for the World Cup. But
But three
otherwise,
ODIs isn't enough, bro. Three ODIs में उन्हें कुछ भी नहीं करना ना. अभी T20 जो two थे, sorry, three तो नहीं थे, एक तो wash out हो गया था. But two में
no,
भी उन्हें he didn't stand out.
format, right? 50 overs, 10 overs में उन्हें कैसा डालता, how he's going to bowl, how does he maintain that rhythm? There will be periods, especially if there are wickets from the other end, there will be periods where they won't really attack him. So how does he bowl in that situation? It's a completely different ball game in 50 overs. The way you
Yeah,
bowl,
agreed.
how you gonna, and also in 50 overs the ball off spin Ashwin का नहीं चलेगा. You have to stick with Kuldeep, Chahal and Bishnoi को भी लेकर आना है squad में. I think all these three will have to be in the squad given a consistent run. I don't mind
True.
even playing both if there's a bit of turn off. I know New
What
Zealand.
about Sundar Ji? Sundar
Yeah,
Ji की बात नहीं करें.
Sundar is there. He's going to be the off spinner. But then again, right? Problem kya hai?
Kuldeep, yeah.
India don't have a leg spinner who bats. So that's why they're playing Sundar there. Otherwise, I would go with two leg spinners. Why not? Right?
Bishnoi
But
can bat, right? Like Ravi Bishnoi can bat. Ravi Bishnoi has a bit
no,
of
no,
batting in him.
not
Nothing?
on that level. So Sundar's a proper batsman, man. He had that innings at
Yeah,
the
he
Gabba.
yeah. Yeah,
It was
wow.
a ridiculous innings. So Sundar can bat. But I think these three will be in, Sundar, Kuldeep, Chahal, and even Bishnoi can be in the squad for that 50 over. It's in India, so you're going to play the extra spinners. And this is where it'll favor India. You know, when you say home country, home advantage, this is where the home advantage comes. Because if Australia jare, you have to have Hardik Pandya and you need a backup to Hardik Pandya, which you didn't have. यहाँ पे you need the likes of Akshar Patel, Jadeja, Washington Sundar. These will make up your third spinner or second spinner, and then you play three spinners in total. That's what will happen in subcontinent conditions, in my opinion. And let's just speak a bit about New Zealand. Again, they're playing core of their T20 squad. The good thing with this team is, like, from test, one day, T20, it doesn't really change too much. Again, Guptill not playing, but Williamson mentioned he's not retired. He's done a good service and everything, but he's not playing right now. Clearly, they're looking at the future. They have Finn Allen, Devon Conway there. Tom Latham's sliding into the team. He'll play at number 4. He'll bring that stability along with Kane Williamson. And then you have the likes of Mitchell, Phillips, Nisham again, and needs to prove a point. Richard Sandner, Tim Sati, Matt Henry, Lucky Ferguson. So there's a few tweaks here and there, like Henry instead of Bolt, and you have Tom Latham in at number 4. But apart from that, it's a similar team from New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to change a lot of things. I think that's also a good thing, to be honest. I mean, if you keep your core intact from now onwards, and have a solid team, you get to gel with each other. You know each other's weaknesses and strengths. And New Zealand, they're all, I think, they're now ranked number 1 right now in the world in terms of ODIs. They played like 11 ODIs. And won 11 ODIs out of their 18 or 15 last ODIs. So I think they're in a good swing of 50-50 mood. But it's going to be interesting to see how they get out of the sort of loss. I mean, I wouldn't call it exactly a convincing loss, but like they still lost the series just recently. And they've also been playing cricket back to back. I think most of their players are probably exhausted, like in likes of Devon Conway and Kane Williamson and these guys. But it's them. They're pretty resilient. I'm going to be very interested to see Conway. I want to see him how he's going to perform in the 50-50 set, because he really played some beautiful shots in the T20 innings that he had. So it's going to be interesting to see how he finds the boundaries and gaps, and I think he's going to be one to watch out.
100%. With that, let's go on to fantasy picks. I think you already picked yours, but let's just finalize it. One from each team. I'm going Shubman Gill from India. I think he's going to perform. And then from New Zealand, I'm going to go, it's between, for me, Williamson and Latham. I'll go Kane Williamson. So Kane Williamson and Shubman Gill are my fantasy picks. Williamson batting at number 3, Shubman Gill batting at the top. They will get more deliveries to face. If it's a good pitch to bat on, they can make the most of it, score those runs, give you those fantasy points. That's why I'm going to go with these two. And that's my opinion. Again, if it's bowling conditions, I don't know exactly how the pitch is going to behave. If it's bowling conditions, then, you should pick a bowler in your fantasy team as well. I'm just going with this with the small boundaries. I feel the batsman will dominate tomorrow.
Yeah, same. But I'm going to go with both the openers, like of each team. Hopefully, I'm going to go with Shikhar Dhawan and Devon Conway. Shikhar Dhawan has something to prove in him. He has the captain's armband, and I think that's going to be adding responsibility to his shoulder, which he looks like he will be standing strong with that, and be able to play a good innings. I feel like he's going to get 100. I don't know why. But he has a good good way of handling this kind of pressure situations. And same with Devon Conway, he's been in good form. He's been in decent form. Unfortunately, got out here and there, but he still looks like one of the top New Zealand batsmen to do something on the field tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And Conway in New Zealand conditions is a monster, man. I think 1 or 2 years pehle, he had an unbelievable domestic season, including international matches in New Zealand. He was outstanding. He was scoring hundreds for fun. Even in test matches, he was doing decent, but mainly in one-day T20s, he was doing so well. I think England had come at that time, and he was just smashing it all over. And that's where he got his IPL contract as well.
Contract,
I think in New Zealand conditions, he's a different beast. He's also improved his game in subcontinent conditions. Initially, I think that first stint in the IPL really gave him that challenge and gave him that, not setback, but alarm saying that, listen, I can't just play the way I play in New Zealand. I have to adapt to
Exactly.
spin. I have to adapt to the slower deliveries, the ball gripping on the pitch. And he's really worked on that. Abhi, he's a more complete player. पूरे
Complete player,
conditions
yeah.
में खेल सकता है, मगर न्यूजीलैंड में तो अलग ही लेवल का प्लेयर है कॉनवे, सो आई
Yeah, it's
थिंक
gonna be interesting how like our bowlers, sort of bowl to him. Arshdeep is also one that I'm gonna be rooting for. If you're going towards bowlers, I'll be saying Arshdeep is someone also who can, if he gets a good amount of swing, in the conditions early अपने को तो like थोड़ा movement मिल गया उसको तो it'll be interesting to see what he does in the early overs hopefully.
I'm lucky that I thought of this, so I can ask you, I can put you in the firing line, and I don't need to answer it if I don't have I want to, because you didn't ask the question. I'm asking the question. My question is,
Yeah.
there's a few star players not playing: Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Jasprit Bumrah, quite a few. So my question to you is that do all of them walk back into the team before the 50-over World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Jasprit Bumrah because Bumrah has been out for quite some time, but
He
like I
walks in
said,
if fit.
yeah, I think they will walk in because they have the roles that they play in this team and the dominance that they have in this team. I mean,
You agree with
clearly,
that?
if, I don't agree with that personally, but for probably just for a Kohli's sake, yes, I would, because Kohli has
Yeah.
proven himself throughout the World Cup. Rohit Sharma still has to prove himself. He didn't perform well, and his decisions were sort of out of bounds in terms of captaincy. Uh, and when it comes out of Bumrah has been injured for quite some time now. So I think Bangladesh will, if he's able to be fit for the Bangladesh series, then I think that will be his take on how
Bumrah
he's
को भी
playing in that.
खिलाना है कि if he is fit, he's going to play the
And
World Cup.
you saw without Bumrah what we were. So I think
Yeah.
Bumrah is a very
So I know
key
Bumrah is
player.
going to play, but my only thing is, man, like the IPL is coming. I know वहाँ पे तो सब खेलने वाले हैं, ऐसा दिख रहा है मेरे को. I don't know what the future holds, but they have to start playing together before it gets too late. Like T20 World Cup, they started playing that Asia Cup, but it was getting late. It was getting late.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think even if you notice in they had that England series, they all played. It was pretty good. But then after that, the West Indies, they didn't go. If you
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
वहाँ पे नहीं
Yeah, yeah.
खेले. And then Zimbabwe, they, of course, it was too close. They played the Asia Cup. So
Then
again,
Australia.
it doesn't have to. You don't have to play every single series. But thoda bahut, I think with this Indian team, thoda sa rhythm hona, and especially if you're a captain, I think you need to be in and around the camp for sure.
I think India is just going towards that new year, new me kind of concept. I think so. I think they're going to give it till December ending. सब कुछ छुट्टियां ले लो जितने लेना है. Come January, we're going to start this. So I think ये बहुत अच्छी चीज है. So if it is going to be implemented because see, even Dravid is not here right now. Your main coach is not here right now.
That's also
So
I don't agree with that.
it's stupid. Like having Lakshman come in one month and just testing out the boys. It's not like a chemistry set where you're gonna put the test करेंगे आया कलर तो नहीं ये नहीं चल सकता बॉस आपका मैनेजर भी नहीं है हेड कोच भी नहीं है आपका कैप्टन भी नहीं है आपका स्टार प्लेयर भी नहीं है clearly they're not taking this very seriously. I mean, yes, they're just sort of kept this like a trial session for all the boys who are there, like in terms of Sanju Samson. They can sort of figure out this kind of part.
Yeah,
With
don't
Sanju
get me
Samson.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think you need rest. You need to have rest. I'm not saying that they have to play every series now until the World Cup because आप इंग्लैंड को देख लो, Ben Stokes इन लोग they didn't play in the Pakistan series just before the World Cup. उन लोग भी नहीं खेले थे. Butler नहीं खेला था. There was Livingston नहीं खेला था, and they still won, right?
Yeah.
That series, and they won the World Cup. So I'm not saying you have to play every single series, but I just feel that something needs to be there at least.
But
On top of
they've played enough cricket to know the mentality and temperament of each other. Butler and Stokes, these guys, they've played enough cricket to know them. Either kya, there's so much
Yeah,
change
Virat Kohli,
happening
Rohit Sharma.
consistently from the last 4 or 5 months. There's been so much change in our team.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like it can go either way. This call, but it is a topic of a discussion. It will be discussed. We have Techie Live joining us. Thank you so much for your question. Really appreciate it. Please continue to ask. He's saying, "Hi guys, I want to ask about Sanju and Deepak. Who would be the multi-dimensional player for team balance? If you're looking at team balance, I would go Deepak Huda because he provides with the ball as well. Now the thing is, sometimes we don't see Deepak Huda given the ball. अगर उसको ball नहीं दे रहे तो फिर multi-dimensional नहीं है होने. So you have to give him. If you're picking him, he needs to bowl 3-4 overs in one-day cricket as well. Yeah, and we saw in the T20 series just now he picked up 4 wickets in one of those games. So he has the ability to pick up wickets, and he can also be that wicket taking option जब partnership break करना है या power play में डालना है, थोड़ा अलग कुछ करना है, तो he can give you that. Sanju Samson, if he plays, he will play instead of probably Rishabh
Concord.
Pant or Shreyas Iyer. I think
Yeah.
that's where he can play. In terms of at number 6, I think balance-wise, Deepak Huda, again, the World Cup will be in India. Deepak Huda will provide with the ball. He will be your extra spin option along with Washington Sundar and the leg spinner you choose between Chahal, Kuldeep or Bishnoi. So
Yeah.
I think they will probably continue to play Deepak Huda, and it will suit his style of play, those conditions in India. He's also asking how much we back KL in T20, because I still feel he's not a flotter kind of batter in T20. I think he's trying to say कि भाई कितना बैक करने वाले हैं उसको, उन्हें T20 में परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा, वर्ल्ड कप
I completely. I think KL Rahul का तो even I'm fed up with KL Rahul, to be very honest. I've been shouting on the panel काफी टाइम से मैं पुकार के चिल्ला रहा हूँ कि भाई KL Rahul को बिठाओ, but KL Rahul का भी अगर सिचुएशन देखे, he's in a comfort seat right now because कोई ओपनर टक्कर देने लायक नहीं है अभी उसको. I don't think anyone is there in the T20 aspect. ऋषभ पंत को भी ट्राई कर सकते, but ऋषभ पंत भी खड़ा उतरा नहीं अभी लास्ट दो मैचेस में भी he didn't perform. Agar a Shikhar Dhawan type of player is ready to play a T20, then maybe I could look into that avenue. But apart from that, KL Rahul को कोई replace करे वैसा नहीं है. And I understand when you say floater kind of a batsman के आके innings शुरू करना. He's going to take some time in starting the
आप यंगस्टर को चांस दे दो, पृथ्वी शॉ को, गायकवाड को, किसी को भी, ईशान किशन को दे दो. जस्ट अगर उन्हें नहीं चल रहा तो नहीं चल रहा, क्या कर सकते, राइट? यंगस्टर को दे दो. अगर उन लोग नहीं चले तो फिर उन लोग भी क्रिटिसाइज होंगे हम, अगर एटलीस्ट आप ट्राई करें चेंज करने में, राइट? थोड़ा सा अलग लेके आए, थोड़ा टैक्टिक्स भी चेंज करें.
बट प्रॉब्लम ये है ना, अपना सिलेक्शन कमिटी के आईपीएल इज ऑलवेज दैट एजेंडा ऑफ सिलेक्शन, तो वो जब तक चेंज नहीं होगा. केएल राहुल परफॉर्म वेरी वेल इन आईपीएल.
I know that, but you also have to look at two T20 World Cups. He did not perform to consistent level. ठीक है, he scored against Afghanistan, I think, in the Asia Cup. Even
इसमें भी बांग्लादेश जिम्बाब्वे को मारा था, but I think it's come to that point where अब बड़े मैच में आप खड़े नहीं उतरे तो then there's no point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Confused about Bhuvi's position in T20 squad. I understood कि उसको वर्ल्ड कप क्यों लेके गए, मगर उसके बाद खिलाना अभी मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Give someone like Umran Malik a chance. Give Prasidh Krishna. Get these guys in and give them a chance. I think
exposure देना जरूरी हो गया. I think old guard has to die down.
I understand. बुमराह नहीं था, आप उसको खिलाए, एक्सपीरियंस है, न्यू बॉल के साथ अच्छा करता. Shami को भी खिलाई, but I think now give youngsters a chance. And Bhuvi, yes, I think he would have been a really good test bowler as well in foreign conditions. He got injured. मेरे को याद है South Africa series 2018. He got the ball and he picked up 4-5 wickets in that first test match, but then he got injured and he couldn't prolong his test career. I felt in England conditions as well, he would be very effective in New Zealand, but injury उसको साथ नहीं दिया. But with Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think, probably you have to start looking towards youngsters in T20s for sure, 100%. One day again you can still try him, but I would probably, if you have Siraj, I would go Siraj, Bumrah, Prasidh Krishna, in लोगों को थोड़ा चांस दो. Arshdeep, back him as well. Arshdeep का ये, how do you think he's going to do, bro, in 50 overs? Because T20 we've seen him, he hasn't played much domestic cricket as well, 50 overs from what I've seen. So how do you think he'll do?
I think the way he has grasped the T20 World Cup, in a World Cup first ball उसका wicket वो भी बाबर आजम था. So I think the way he's he soaks up pressure, and उन्हें जिस तरीके का temperament का दिखता मेरे को, he's passionate, he's determined to prove himself. ये attributes जबरदस्त है इसके. क्रिटिसिज्म इन द एशिया कप जहाँ पे उसको गालियां दे दी बेचारे को कैच ड्रॉप की वजह से, बट उसके बावजूद उन्हें आके जो डेथ ओवर डाला था, इफ यू रिमेंबर, ही गेव अवे मिनिमल रन्स. So I think 50 over में also he'll be able to adapt quickly. He has a good gauging system. उन्हें अच्छा जल्दी absorb करता pressure, absorbs the conditions, absorbs the things happening around him. So I think he's going to be very good in terms of 50. because यार 4 ओवर में इतना कमाल करा, 10 ओवर देके देखना पड़ेगा कैसा करेगा. 10 ओवर में क्या है, it's just your fitness and how your line and length is. In terms of line and length right now he's doing well, but it's going to be about how he's going to plan out his 10 overs.
सिराज का मेरे को एक है मालूम, फॉर मी ही वाज अ रेड बॉल बॉलर, लाइक अ बेटर रेड बॉल बॉलर देन अ व्हाइट बॉल बॉलर. मगर आई थिंक जब से उन्हें उसको चांसेस मिल रहे हैं अब, ही इज रियली इंप्रूव्ड हिज गेम. ही इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग द व्हाइट बॉल गेम. ही इज वेरिंग हिज लाइन इन लेंथ, बिकॉज़ टेस्ट मैच में क्या है, यू कैन हिट दैट लाइन लेंथ, ही इज एक्यूरेट, तो उसको मालूम है यहाँ पे मारना है. पर उसको वही लाइन लेंथ में मार पड़ रही थी T20 इन वनडे में, बिकॉज़ उन्हें ऑन द स्पॉट डाल रहा था, दे न्यू कहां डालने वाला है, उठा के देते थे. नाउ ही इज मिक्सिंग इट अप. इफ यू सॉ इन दैट T20 सीरीज अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड, लाइक यू मेंशन्ड, उन्हें शॉर्ट पिच भी डाल रहा था, यॉर्कर भी अच्छा डाल रहा था, पेस अच्छी आ रही थी, स्लोअर बॉल भी आ रहा था. तो ही इज रियली वेरीड हिज his bowling for sure.
Yeah, I think even playing domestic cricket has helped him a lot. थोड़ा बहुत domestic भी खेला. I think he's even in one of the Hyderabad team for Vijay Hazare also. तो I think उन्हें वो domestic खेलने की वजह से back home, getting his rhythm and line has helped him a lot. और अभी अपन देख सकते हैं कि and this is what we've been talking about कि भाई ये exposure दो, ये trial and error करने का मौका दो, experiment करने का मौका दिए तो boys perform करते सीखते एक level of maturity आती bowling में. So I think this is what Siraj has been doing consistently.
I thought because we had one-dimensional bowling attack in recent T20 World Cup, thus we failed to qualify for final because, as you see throughout this World Cup, we are unable to get any associate teams all out like Netherlands. Also, that's a good point. But I think more than one-dimensional, they just didn't. Stick to their plans properly. Against England, they just got outclassed. In terms of dimensional, they had a left arm bowler. They had Bhuvi who can swing. They had Shami who can hit the deck.
Can hit
They
the
had
deck,
Ashwin in
yeah.
off spinner. They had Aksar in a left arm spinner. They had different dimensions, but they just didn't bowl to their potential. They didn't bowl well, especially in that game. And you can also see that Bangladesh game. उसमें भी मार खाए थे. Like भुवनेश्वर को भी उन्हें भी पिटा, इन्हें अर्शदीप भी पिटा, सब पिट रहे थे उसमें भी. So yeah, I agree. They didn't bowl to expectations, but it doesn't mean that they weren't. They were only one dimensional. They were made to look like that. The way Butler and Hills were hitting. They had different dimensions, but they just perform नहीं करे. So fair enough. Siraj kind of bowlers we need as team because हर बार आपको bowler friendly pitches नहीं मिलेंगे. Yeah, and Siraj एक बंदा है जो domestic cricket में भी आप जब देखे when coming up used to bowl day in day out with that red ball in Ranchi Trophy on flat pitches. उन्हें आके steam in करके, and that's where he increased his pace also. That's why when you saw him in the test matches against Australia at the gap and everything, एकदम zip बोल के ball आ रहा था because he played in those conditions in India. जान मारना पड़ता, right? Because there's no life in the pitch, especially in the 4-day Ranchi Trophy matches. तो उसको मालूम है फ्लैट पिचेस पे कैसा डालना है, and I think he'll do well in India as well, but only time will tell, right? Maybe you'll be sitting here 6 months down the line saying भाई सिराज को ड्रॉप करो, किसी और को, उमरान को खिलाओ, या उमरान को ड्रॉप करो, प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा को खिलाओ. We don't know what's going to happen. It'll depend on form also. How do you see Rohit as a player or leader in T20 now?
Rohit's temperament for me has not been great in terms of how he's handling that, the helm. अभी वो ऐसा टेम्परामेंट में हो गया कि भाई मैं सब देख लिया लाइफ में, मेरा हो गया, करियर हो गया, बट थोड़े शॉर्ट जो खेला एज अ प्लेयर आल्सो एंड एज अ लीडर, एज अ फर्स्ट प्लेयर की तरफ देखेंगे अगर, mentality didn't look good when he came onto the pitch. He just took too much pressure. I get it कि KL राहुल नहीं फायर कर रहा था, but that and आपको जल्दी है कि आप पावर प्ले में आप थोड़े रन्स बना लो, but I don't think that is a cause of a reason for you to perform poorly. You got a 50, but every time you had got a 50 or like a good start, you always gave away one chance or something. आप हमेशा एक आपका एक ड्रॉप कैच हुआ या तो जस्ट मिस्ड अपॉर्चुनिटी. तो रोहित शर्मा आई डोंट थिंक उन्हें अपना होमवर्क बराबर करा ये टाइम, दो उन्हें इतना एक्सपीरियंस क्रिकेटर है. एज अ लीडर यस उन्हें मुंबई इंडियंस में करा, बहुत जबरदस्त करा, 5 IPLs या जो भी उन्हें जीता अभी तक. ही इज बीन अ वेरी गुड कैप्टन, बट
इंडिया के लिए एशिया कप जीता है,
इंडिया के लिए एशिया कप जीता, बट आई थिंक इन T20 जो हम लोग अभी प्रीवियसली अगर अपन एसेस करें, ही मेड अ लॉट ऑफ मिस्टेक्स एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड उसका की बॉलर नहीं था, बुमराह भी नहीं था, बट your Rohit Sharma, you have to make the right call.
रहाने जिताया था ऑस्ट्रेलिया की सीरीज विदाउट 4-5 की bowlers, man. अश्विन भी नहीं था लास्ट मैच में. He won with Washington Sundar, Natarajan and Siraj leading the attack, bro.
Yeah, I mean just goes to show like आपको कुछ भी नहीं बोला रहाने एकाध उसमें, अब एकाध तो when being at a stretch of strings of matches is different. You know what I mean?
I understand that, but still, that was high class, man. I think because of attacking intent, मुझे लग रहा है उनके strong point miss कर रहे हैं because he's not a big hitter. He's just a great timer of the ball. Yeah, he is a great timer of the ball, and that normally works. Honestly, it's just that maybe the style that he's trying to hit every single ball out of the park initially. Then he got confused. Then he started taking time. और जो मारा था वो लग रहा भी नहीं था उसका, तो maybe just the way he.
सूर्या कुमार की एक्टिंग करने जा रहे थे और कुछ.
Yeah, and Rohit Sharma, I think I saw a really good innings recently of him live. I was at the stadium, India versus Sri Lanka Asia Cup, जो India हारी थी मैच में, they got knocked out. उसमें उन्हें 70 या 80 मारा, easily 100 मार सकता था उन्हें वो मैच में. But it was a counter attacking innings. सब आउट हो गए थे उसके अलावा, विराट कोहली, राहुल पूरे आउट हो गए थे. I think कुछ 24-4 थे and उन्हें दबा के मारा था, and very clean hitting. So when he's in form, he's outstanding to watch, and the timing clears the boundary. He doesn't need to be a power hitter at that time. But yeah, it's a matter of fitness as well.
Yes, that's a very big
Mental
factor.
strength and not being in form. All this pura milake, captaincy pressure. Also, you can say changing the template and all that probably added up to him not performing in that World Cup. That pretty much wraps it up. Fez, any last thoughts that you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
it's gonna be interesting. बहुत जल्दी उठना है कल मैच देखने
Yeah,
को hopefully अपन उठ जाएं. I think अपने टाइम के हिसाब से 5:30 in the morning है. So it's gonna
yeah,
be interesting to see how these guys perform. I'm very keen on seeing certain players. I hope Umran plays. I hope Sanju gets his chance. I want to see a variation in the team also because भाई different players को देखने में मजा आता, सीखने आता कि भाई इसकी temperament क्या है, ये क्या है, what can he bring to the table. So it should be a good series to watch. New Zealand being number one right now in the world. अच्छा रहेगा. शिखर धवन की भी कैप्टेंसी दिखने मिलेगी एंड आई होप दोनों को शिखर धवन हैज अ गुड सीरीज एंड ही कैन कम बैक इनटू द 50 ओवर टीम.
yeah, 100%. Fez, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Techie Live. Thank you to everybody who have joined us in the chat and continue to stay with us. Some log kal bhi aayenge. We'll speak about the game as well and we'll continue to get the latest cricket content. Until then, enjoy the football, enjoy the World Cup. Portugal's playing, Ronaldo's playing, Brazil is playing, Neymar's playing. So enjoy the World Cup and have a good night and see you guys tomorrow. Take care and have a good night.